Are you ready? Oh. Oh. I want to have a talk about running. First of all, you should know I'm not really much of an athlete. I didn't actually start exercising until I was 21 years old. And the only exercise I knew how to do was run. I had a friend who liked to run and he taught me how to run 3 miles without stopping, and that was a huge accomplishment. My next accomplishment was running 5 miles. Then I read a book called Born to Run and I got obsessed with trail running and long distance running. Eventually I was running half marathons and I loved it, and I was kind of killing it for my, lack of experience, but the problem was I got injured. I ended up running too fast and I hurt my Achilles tendon, so I had to lay off running for about a year after 3 half marathons within 1 year. I was very sad. I don't know what it is, but there's something about running that just feels like so primal and it feels so good, and it's really easy to do. Most people can run, especially if you don't have injuries like knee injuries and stuff like that. As you guys know, I really do love yoga. I love it so much, but sometimes I really want to get my sweat on and I just want to really push myself, and not that yoga can't be really challenging, but it feels so good to get outside and pump my heart. I just want to tell you real quick how I was able to run 3 miles without stopping when I came from running nothing at all. It took me maybe a couple of months. I just found this stretch of land that was 1.5 miles, actually the place that we visited today. This is a long time ago, but I went there and with my friend we would just run until I couldn't run anymore. And when I first started, I think it wasn't even half a mile. Like, I just ran and then I just said, okay, I can't run anymore, and then I stopped. But I continued to walk the rest of the 3 miles. So I'd go back and back. Something about having to complete the 3 miles, even though most of it was walking, really helped me fall in love with running. So then each time I would just increase the distance that I was running. So eventually I ran all the way to the end, 1.5 miles, and without stopping, and then I would walk 1.5 miles back. I remember that day being like, oh my gosh, I did it. I did 1.5 miles. And then I would turn around and I'd keep going. I'm like, okay, I'm still going. And then eventually I finished 3 miles without stopping, and that was such a huge accomplishment for me. And that is what I would encourage you to do if you want to start running. There are so many ways to start. There's so many different tricks and everyone recommends something else, but this is what works for me. So just picking a distance that seems sort of achievable. Maybe you would just want to start with 1 mile and then just run as far as you can and then stop, but then walk the whole rest of the way so that each time you complete 1 mile, but just run as much of it as you can. Running requires very little gear. It's very inexpensive. You just need some shoes basically. And I also really like having a handheld water bottle when it is hot out. What's great about this one is that when you start drinking and there's less water inside, it doesn't slosh around because it kind of suctions it up, so it's very easy to run with. And it's super easy to drink out of. And I use Ultra running shoes that I love and are vegan and are actually very good shoes. And that's about it. You just don't need a lot. Another thing I want to say about running is that it's not about how you look, it's about how you feel. So I personally do not look cool when I run. I wear random clothes that don't match. My face gets really sweaty and really red, and I'm just like a sweat machine, and I wear a hat and it's just like gross. Like, I'm not attractive, it's not cool. But it's not about looking cool, it's about doing it because you love it and because it feels good and because it's really good for you. The people who look cool when they run, they're like a special breed. And I don't want anyone to feel like held back because they feel like they don't look good when they run. I'm sorry, but most people don't. My husband does.